Oh, yeah. Welcome tonight to the review show on Inside the Booth. And your hosts are here, me, Dan the Law, and we got Ron, CG Artist, and Sean from Try to Finish Something Tonight. Tony couldn't make it tonight, but that's okay. He usually makes it when nobody else does anyway.
Right?
As long as Ron's here, nothing else matters.
That's
okay.
Right.
You say that now, but by the end of the show, we'll see.
We'll see. That's it. Fun. Yeah. So I guess tonight we're going to talk about movies and other movies, makeup, props for the Beetlejuice movie, a little bit of that stuff. For us that did some research, not too much for me, but I can keep a conversation going. And then, and what do we say? Some movies that we would like to see, and some movies that are upcoming movies that look interesting. So yeah, and movies that already came out that we haven't looked at yet, but we want to.
Yep.
So that's the kind of, I don't know what order we're going to do it in, but that's basically what our night is going to be. So that's it. And then tonight we got Uncle Mike Arena with us. What's up, Uncle Mike? Thanks for watching. Uncle Mike. All right. So I guess let's start with some upcoming projects.
Okay.
Why not, right? We'll start with why not? I mean, Ron, you've been working on some stuff the past couple months.
I haven't put out a lot of videos only because I've been designing, tearing down, and redesigning. So I have like three major, I guess in my life, major things. One is the virtual pinball machine, which I've actually CNC'd all the parts, so it's like a giant model kit, like one of those sheets with the parts all in there. It looks like that, except made out of MDF. So there's that.
Oh, nice.
The cool. Second thing is I bought these cheap bars. I say bars plural. For the basement. They were in an L shape. I've since moved them across the room, and now they're in a long shape. And I just have the backs of the bars, which is just plain painted black wood to look at. Since it's next to the entrance to the theater, I'm actually making a facade that goes on the front of there. I was at Tony's place this past summer, and he did a similar thing, except he built his entire bar. So I am cheating with the bar that I have, but I'm making a cover, so to speak, for it. And it's going to be multi-layered, has LEDs in it and vents and things. So there's that. That's been in the design phase. Just about ready to cut that out with the CNC. So there'll be a lot of CNC work. Is it lazy? Nah, it's just a tool. I mean, I bought that. That's what I'm going to use. And then the third little thing is a gun turret that will sit in the entrance area. And if I can figure it out, which shouldn't be too hard, as you come in, there'll be a sensor and it'll kind of swing towards your way slowly. It won't track you because you'd have to have something on you, or there'd have to be some camera thing, and that's too elaborate for what I'm trying to do. Right. But basically, it'll just swing towards a certain predetermined area and then turn back slowly as if it's tracking you, and then it'll stop.
Nice.
Very cool.
So if you have the sensor at two entrances, one that's actually leading into the theater, so if you come out, it'll do kind of the same thing, but in reverse. That way it looks like it's tracking you. And then one as you come in. So those are the three projects that I have going on. Oh, and I finally, after 2 years, it seems, started sanding and prepping my K2SO full size for finally for, you know, getting all the lines, the 3D print lines out and painting.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yep.
Very cool.
Oh, and I got to film it all. So there's that. Yeah.
Exactly.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun to do. Film it.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
edit
for
it.
me,
And then you gotta edit.
I've kind of gotten into my my rut of trying to finish something. I am envious of your project list that is 3 or 4 things long. I have started probably, I don't know, a dozen projects, and then I just get to a point where it's like I've got to get out of that mindset. It's like I'm very short attention span, where I will get to a point and then I'll see something shiny over here and I'm like, ooh, that's really neat. I should start on that. And then I start that, and then it's been a month since I was at that other project. And that's the one thing about doing the channel that originally helped me, because it forced me to finish things because I had to get a video out. And I had gone on vacation in June, and it was a big vacation. My daughter had graduated high school, and so we took a big Europe vacation, and it took a lot of planning and the trip, and it got me out of the mindset of doing a video, and I'm now trying to catch and ramp back up and trying to get things done. So I have a long list of things I need to do.
Yeah, knock out one of the smaller, easy wins, you know. That'll get you back in there.
Yeah,
that's my plan. I'm gonna. I have a speeder bike helmet from one of. I mean, not speeder bike. It was one of the biker scouts from the Solo Story, which I still say is an underrated movie. But I have one of the troopers from that is far too clean, and it needs to get weathered. And I thought that's something I could knock out in an hour, and I should just start there and kind of work my way up to some of the other projects. I'm refacing the door to my build room, where it's like the entire wall is going to get covered in rock and panels and stuff. And I've got blasters I'm working on, and I bought one of these. It looked like something out of the Endor series. It was an old compact computer that was the suitcase computer. The top comes down and you've got the keyboard and the little monitor. And I want to gut the entire thing, and I want to put a screen in there, and I want to, and so I've got all these little ideas and these things that I want to do, and I need to just relax and do one of them and stop talking about it. So that's where I am.
Nice. Yeah, I see it. It's easy. It's easier to write the list down and then check them off as you go, so that your brain doesn't forget. Oh, what was that thing I wanted to do? Yeah. And then like, you know, a month later, then you remember, and then you're like, oh yeah. and
Ron's got I wanted to do a full size, like you were doing the K2SO, and I wanted to do something big, and I thought I wanted to do something that was life size, that wasn't wearable, because most of the things that I do are wearable. And so I was gonna do a pit droid. I got all the files, and I went, okay, let's finish some of the other projects before you start something else. So I'm trying not to do the pit droid. So I'm just trying.
It's funny you say that, because I have a ton of stuff that I need to 3D print for next year, and I keep just piling on, and the files are ready, but I need to focus on at least these 3 things first. Then there's like 3 more things, and then finally I can do the 3D printing. And so I don't know, K2SO may take a back seat again. I mean, that one doesn't need to be done. It just would be one of those nice to have type things. And I'm sure you have a ton of nice to have projects, but so many.
So can I ask you a sanding question about your K2SO? So Derek from Van Oaks Props, I had seen him do this, and I've done it as well, where it's like you take the acetone and you like take Bondo and you kind of just make a slurry out of it. And then you paint it so you don't have to do as much sanding. Do you do that route, or do you do it? Do you do like a UV resin and paint it with like a UV resin and hit it with a lighter, or do you just do it all sanding? What's your
So I'll start with sanding, and depending on if it's the underside where it's really messed up, with the supports and everything, I would use as low as high as 80 grit, and then I back it down to 100, probably 120, then 220. So I do a fair bit of sanding, and that sanding is with an orbital sander, and just keep it moving so it doesn't burn the plastic out, obviously. And when that's super smooth, and usually the fault, first of all, is I'm using PLA, which is like the worst filament to try to sand to begin with. What we should all be using is ABS, which is incredible. I mean, it's hard to print on most printers because you need the heat and everything. But if you can dial your printer in and print ABS, that's the way to go. Forget PLA, which is super easy. I get it. And PLA Plus, super easy to use, but they don't sand well. But I digress. So I sand and get it down to where the print almost turns this weird color of the sanded plastic. And the layer lines are, I'd say, maybe 50 to 75% gone, but it's really in rough shape. Then after that, I do the acetone and Bondo filler, which just, it's amazing. It's like putting a nice little coat over, and then I sand that down, and then I can, go ahead and start painting it. And all it's funny, I looked at Van Oak's video and 2 other videos before I finally decided to try it, because I was like, what's the consistency I should use? Should it be like milk? I put it on, it's running everywhere. So, disclaimer to anyone who wants to try that, who hasn't, put down some paper or something first, because it is extremely messy. Put on that mask, because when you start sanding, it's fine dust absolutely everywhere. And I forget the young lady's name who, one of the videos I watched, I'll have to pick it up, but she has this smock that has the legs on there, and that's perfect for when you're sanding, and you don't want it all over your pants and all. But sorry, I went way off topic.
It works so good though, because I mean, you coat it with that slurry, and because of the acetone, it dries quick. I mean, you're sanding right away. I mean, it's such a, if you're making props and you don't like doing the sanding, and unfortunately, sanding is part of prop making. It is. And I see so many people, and I mean, if you do it, that's fine. I'm not judging. It's just, I see so many really beautiful looking props that people do. And then it's like, when I zoom in, I see those layer lines, and that takes me out of that, because I'm like, no, you were so close. It was, and I'm a little nitpicky for my own projects, where it's like, I want it to look like it's off of the set. And
me too.
I want that feel, and I want that tactile, it's a prop used in the movie or something. And I'm a little obsessive about it, but I love the acetone. I think that's a great solution to that problem.
Yeah, I'm the same way as you, to the point where I get way up. Like, for example, in K2SO, I'm starting with the hand, which is like the worst part, because on the bottom it got really, it really just raw plastic that's just messed up because of the way I printed it. So I'm in there with these tiny sanders, really getting in there, because I just don't want it where you look and you see any layer lines, and it's usually in areas that are like right up in here, or like just way in there, and you see it mostly. Anyone who prints anything, they print the smooth broadside, or they sand the broadside or the larger areas, but they don't really get in there with the little areas, and that's because it's hard. You kind of can't get in there.
Yeah, I've got the twigs and the sanding Q-tips.
I've got those too.
All that. I've got all.
There's an electric one by Proxon, that I want to get, but I hate getting something that's proprietary where I have to rely on their sanding pads. So I'm trying to see if there's sandpaper that has adhesive on the backside, then I can cut my own shapes for their little shapes. Then I'll buy that tool, because I feel like that'd be 90% of trying to get in the nooks and crannies.
Yeah, I was talking to Odin, and I think Ryobi's got a new one that's a cordless one that they have as well. It's like a little finger sander. So I wanted to check that one out too.
Nah, I will too. Yeah, the depot.
Yeah,
cool.
Hey, Derek.
Yeah. Hey, Dennis, how you doing?
Dennis,
how are you, how are you, man?
Welcome.
He's another person who has a ton of projects that he's working on too.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, every time he shows his little his sketchbook. It's like I want to, like, when he's not paying attention, just like swipe it off the counter and just kind of flip through it. That'd be a good weekend.
Yep, I've seen it fly. Lots of ideas
nice.
were borrowed.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, Dan. We kind of derailed everything there.
No, it's okay. It's all right. He says you can buy sandpaper with adhesive on the back. Yeah.
Perfect. So I'll look at that Ryobi sander and that Proxxon one's in the cart. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. Something's going to happen. I have to get one of those little tiny sanders that's automatic that just helps with that whole process.
And much like he was saying, it's like I've purchased a lot of the stick-on for the orbital sanders, the stick-on sanding discs, and I make my own different shaped tools all the time, whether it's a piece of PVC pipe or pencils or whatever. It's like I'm sticking that on there just to get in areas, and it's a weird obsession.
Yeah. So I hear you on that, man. I just don't want to see any layer lines. Like, Dan, the helmet I made for you, I tried to make sure there was nothing on there, and even then, there was still some of those spots, and that's what made me want that tool, just to get right in the little crevices, you know?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, but you did a really great job. Let me tell you.
I try. I think the chef's kiss is it's almost like smoking. Anyway, the chef's kiss would be wet sanding when it's finally done, right? That does it right there.
Yeah, wet sanding is good just because it's constantly cleaning out the sandpaper, so you don't get that gum built up in that.
Yeah.
And so I admit I've only done it a couple times, but I haven't reached the level where it's like everything gets wet sanded. I think that's kind of where I kind of stopped just before that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys ever wet sanded, like you go 100 grit all the way up to maybe 1,000 grit? And have you ever gotten like that polished look almost when you're done wet sanding everything? Yeah.
Which is dangerous because you're like, paint has to go into this and it needs some tooth. Right. Now I got to rough it up a little bit. It's too smooth.
The most sanding I did was probably for my season 1 Mandalorian helmet, because I knew it was going to get that alamuster, that coat that's supposed to make it look like it's shiny chrome, and I thought that's going to show everything. And I've also heard that like a lot of shiny black helmets will do the same thing. A lot of people that are doing like Darth Vader or something like that, they really want that thing smooth.
Because I mean, at certain angles, that light's going to bend, and you'll just see it. And if you're like me, that's all you see. Just man, I made that. What was it? The outfit that my first cosplay, Moff Gideon, and the chest plate was supposed to be that shiny and then matte on the sides. And I mean, I looked at it at different angles, got a flashlight, and was like, I got to get this right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nice. And Sean, you're part of the 501st, aren't you? With a couple of your costumes.
Yeah. I've got 2 that are 501st approved. I have a Shore Trooper and I have the season 1 Mandalorian. I had started. I wanted to do the ICAT Trooper, which is kind of the green trooper, just because there was the episode where Din like goes inside of one of those and does that whole thing, and I thought, hey, that might be something kind of fun to do, and I can kind of go back and forth. I have a tendency to do costumes that you don't see in very many episodes. Yeah. Season 1, I've got it. No one knows what that one is. I mean, when I dress in that, and most of the time they're like, hey, where's the shiny one? It's like, yeah, great, thanks. I had hoped he would hang on to that a little longer, but I like it.
Yeah, I like it because it's all rustic and you know, it looks cool because it's like different pieces. You know?
Yeah. And I think that will be my next thing my next full costume that I do. I think what I would like to do is my own character. Just that it's not based on something else that's out there, and kind of stealing from the season 1 Mandalorian. I like the idea of some kind of wasteland Star Wars character that just cobbles together armor from things that he's found or stolen or taken. So it's just something like I'm sure everybody's seen him, like the Dirty Rogue designs, where he's got all those different helmets that are a bunch of different amalgamations of different things. I would love to do something like that, and I think that will
nice.
be in my horizon.
Yeah, mine would be that. I don't know if it's the proper name, but it's like the Mud Trooper, the goggles and everything. And it's I really as soon as I saw that, I wanted to make that.
Another underused trooper. I think that's such a good looking. Yeah. That's Sorry, cool. Dan. I know Star Wars isn't your thing.
Oh, no. It's I like Star Wars. Obviously, I didn't think.
Look what you did.
Solo
you made him
was
leave.
The best movie. Oh, I know. Oh,
no, I was because I think this is one of the most underused troopers. I love that from Solo, cool. And so this has got to get some weathering and it's got to get some damage.
That is nice.
And it's just a good looking helmet. Anyway,
that is a good.
It is. Helmet. It really is.
I've always been a trooper fan.
Gotcha. Yep.
That's good. Oh,
cool.
Look,
so
mom's here. Hi, Ma.
Hey.
Hey there.
Everyone sit up straight.
Use proper English.
Look your best. Yeah,
that's right.
So I did get something in the mail today.
Ooh,
my Ghostbuster badge.
Nice. Put it right there. Yeah. Very nice.
Now is that the patch with the Velcro on the back to stick to your kit, or what is that?
Yeah. Yep. It's got the Velcro on the back, which is nice because I did get another one with just my last name, but just to change it out, just in case,
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think obviously I'll use this one when I promote my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Nice.
And I have a couple of traps. Yeah, I got a couple of the ghost traps next to me because I was kind of tinkering with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that even though I bought them at the same place at the same time and in the same box, the insides are just a little different. It's weird. Why wouldn't they just make them all the same?
I agree.
So yeah, one of them has the little circuit board, motherboard, whatever it is, on the bottom of the trap, and then the other one has its circuit board, and it's like on the top where the buttons are, and you're like, oh, it's harder to change out some buttons because it's so close. So I might just move it from one spot to another.
You should see if they're made in different countries.
Yeah,
right. I don't
like two different, two different factories or whatever manufacturing places might have done it.
In my long list of projects, I have my Ghostbusters popcorn container.
Nice.
And I bought an oversized remote control car that I'm going to make this mounted to it so that I can have the kind of ATV version of it that's controlled right there on my popcorn bucket.
There you go.
I got the same thing except no remote control to this one. But I'm sure I could find one somewhere.
Yep.
There you go.
I'm gonna take the top off and then
that's exactly what I
put
did.
A trap on it. Yep.
That's my plan. That's project number 18 in my list of 50.
Right.
Right.
I've got everything for it. I just need to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. And I'm the same way. So what's funny is that have you guys ever done this where you buy something on the internet and it's too small? Like that badge that I got. I first bought this one. It's it was toddler size, and I was like, oh man, I didn't even look at the options. I just clicked on it. I was excited. Oh yeah, let's get it. And then I did the same thing with these little. I don't know if you guys use these in any of your stuff. I know like Ghostbuster stuff does, but they're like the little electric buttons,
Oh yeah. And
you click them down and stuff.
Yeah.
So this one is 6mm by 6mm, but the one I need is for my pedal because the one inside of here doesn't click anymore.
Yep.
So and that one is like a 12mm by 12mm, and I'm like, oh, I bought the wrong size again. But
Well,
you can
obviously I
find a
can
use
use
for
them
those though when you start making other stuff. You'll be happy you have
Yeah,
those smaller ones. You can
exactly.
conceal them a
Right.
lot easier.
And the difference is that
Yeah.
mistake cost you like what? $5?
$10,
Maybe not even
yeah.
that much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that. Yeah. Don't feel bad about that.
It wasn't much. No, I don't feel bad, but I'm just like, oh, now I gotta. The only thing I don't like is I gotta wait again for.
That's
it
the
to come in the
disappointment
mail.
part right there. Yeah, when it's you gotta wait.
Yes,
Yeah.
wait for the mail.
Yeah.
But that's
Exactly.
that's exactly it.
That's what happens when you save 10 proof of purchases and then send them in 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
I can give you an $80 lesson of that same thing if you want a visual. I'll grab something else. Hold on.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I've got
Oh man,
part of this mess in
$80.
here is it's
It's
plenty of
part of that
stuff
too.
that's like, oh, that's not the right size. Why did I buy? Well, can't send it back. Guess I'll use it in something.
So
Right.
I like a lot of people, I'm also a big Alien fan.
Mhm.
So
Oh, nice.
I bought what was advertised on eBay as a life-size face hugger. $80.
Okay.
This is not life-size. That is the
Oh man,
smallest
that's
face
It
hugger.
is when you hold it closer to the,
Yeah,
to
it's
the camera.
life-size.
Oh, that's huge.
But I bought that and regretted it. But then I still kind of really liked it, so I didn't return it, and then had to wait and order the full size.
There
one.
you
So
go.
Oh,
That's
there
the
you
one.
go.
I've been there, but that was an $80 lesson not to read.
I know.
the fine print that
Yeah,
it said
$80.
life
Wow.
size in bold, and then in really small print, it gave the dimensions, and I went, "Oh,
Gotcha.
that's my fault. That's on me."
Yeah, got excited. Well,
Yeah.
now you got an adult size and a baby size, right? Is that what that is? It's the
Exactly.
baby.
Yeah. You got to do in the model, like in the model railroad, when someone buys the HO scale or G scale, then they have the N scale way in the background. So you can put that
Exactly.
one in the background and have the real one up front.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. I don't know.
That's it. That's
So
funny.
your lesson was only $10. Mine,
Yeah, 80 something bucks. I don't know if
yeah, exactly.
if I would be able to handle that one.
I don't know. Yeah, well, I have. I've had my share of that.
Yeah,
It happens.
yeah. It
But
does.
again,
Yeah.
I just figure I'll find a use for whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
of course.
You know.
Of
Yep.
course. So I guess let's just kind of segue into props of Beetlejuice. Since Sean, you saw the movie, you said
I
Beetlejuice,
did.
Beetlejuice.
I did.
Okay.
I unfortunately did not see it, but I don't mind spoilers because I already watched a lot of that stuff in reviews, anyways. So I don't mind.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one either. I was hoping we were going to talk about Alien Romulus. That I have seen.
We can do that too.
Yeah.
You want
But
to
yeah,
start there?
let's start with the Beetlegeist.
Okay. I just
Okay.
so for me, it didn't have a lot of new props. It was a lot of
Right.
They did a great job of getting the set to look like it did originally, which
Mhm.
I'm assuming that was all long gone and they had to rebuild it all from scratch. I mean,
Mm.
it was all it had a very good reminiscent feel, at least as far as the set. The movie itself, without giving too much away, it's like it tried to do the right things, but it just didn't have the same feel. And it's not that it was bad. It was worth seeing. It's not like I was looking at my watch the whole time, wondering when it was going to be over. It's just it was missing something, some little spark of magic that the first one had, and I didn't feel it as much from this one. It was good. It just wasn't the same movie. It just wasn't as good.
Okay.
Right. So
it seemed like in the previews, Michael Keaton, it seemed like he phoned it in. It didn't. Something seemed off, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it wasn't. He wasn't as over the top and as central. I mean, he was a very big part of the story, but I mean, he just really had it was him kind of showing off a goofy acting chops that Michael Keaton was great at in the first one. And I just didn't see anything new from that character. It was just kind of a rehash of it. I mean, and then it was kind of weird just because everybody in the cast except the dad made it back.
Yeah.
And it's because of all the legal troubles that he had in the past. They didn't want him back. Which I respect the decision to do that. And they brought him back in like a flashback scene, but instead of actually having him in the flashback scene, they did it claymation style so that they didn't have to actually have him in it.
That's what I'm talking about right there, man.
It was kind of, I don't know. I would have just rather them just kind of talked about what happened, because they explained away, hey, dad's dead, he was eaten, which is fine, but I don't know why they had to do it in the claymation. I know there was some claymation in the original. It just, I don't know, it just seemed like too much, like they were trying too hard to shoehorn his character in. I don't know.
Right. Or
but I mean,
probably just to explain it away or something, you know.
And they had, they had the waiting room again with a bunch of creative deaths and different ways that people had died, and they did a good job. It's just, it's like telling you about it. It should be as good, but it just wasn't. I don't know. It was missing something.
Yeah. Now, would you say that? I mean, there are a lot of people who, from the newer generation, who they hadn't seen the first one, right? And they just went to see this one. It's funny. I was walking my dogs, and someone, a lot around here, a lot of people turn their garages into media rooms.
Oh yeah.
Long story short, someone was having a party, and they were watching the original Beetlejuice. So it was the scene where they're at the table and they start singing and everything. And so, of course, you sing along and you're like, oh, I want to watch. Anyway, you have to wonder if fresh eyes seeing the first one and then immediately seeing the second one. I wonder if it's a different effect for them versus, we've kind of waited so long for this, and expectations are set pretty high, right?
It's definitely possible, but I'll use your example as a perfect example, comparing and contrasting the two. So I'm going to draw a blank on who it's by, but so in the original one, they did the whole dance where they kind of took them over as ghosts and they made them dance around, and they had the shrimp in the bowl and it grabs their face and pulls them down. It was funny and it was quick. Somebody who has a background in radio and audio editing and stuff like that, they didn't use the whole 3.5-minute song. They kind of edited it down to a tight 1.5 minutes, and it kind of got the point across without belaboring the point too much.
Right.
This one, they did the original version of Donna Summer had remade the MacArthur's Park, the "Someone Left the Cake Out in the Rain" song, which the song itself always kind of bugged me because I didn't understand. Well, what do you mean you left the cake out in the rain? Who leaves a cake out there? But anyway, that was a remake of an original song that was done many years before, and they tried to recapture that same magic, and they used the old version of the "Someone Left the Cake Out," and they are all dancing around to it, but it went on way too long. It's like you got it. You got the point across. Now you don't have to go to the end of the real song. And so it was just a lot of those kind of things that I felt were just could be tightened up a little bit to kind of get to the point and to kind of deliver the punchline quicker. I in my opinion.
It's weird because when I went to go see Aliens Romulus, there was I forget what they were selling. It was such a bad commercial, but there was a commercial that they were doing, and they did that exact same thing. They used the song from the original Beetlejuice, and it went on way too long to the point where it felt uncomfortable. And I thought to myself, who okayed this? A little snippet of it would have been fine. And it's funny because then I went to go see Twisters, and someone must have gotten from a focus group that, yes, that was too long, because they have a much shorter version that just works so much better. And I wonder if the same creative genius did the same thing for the movie. Just put the whole. We got to fill this time, so just do it. You know.
Yeah, and it's funny because putting on my program director hat, I came from radio and I did radio a lot. And when I was a program director, you'd have to have what they called air check meetings with the DJs, where you would listen to just the parts of them talking on the air, and you felt like you were kind of a broken record where you were saying, hey, you know, kind of get to the point quicker and don't ramble on so long and so I find myself watching movies sometimes and having that program director from radio or director from movies hat and going, you were just filling time here. You should have wrapped this up quicker. You could have gotten there quicker. And I got it.
Yep. Yeah, I need one of those coaches for life.
Yeah.
Hurry up, come on. You know, it's funny when I'm editing videos, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, you know, you have to show all of that?
That is,
and then most stuff just gets chopped, like all that effort. Chopping.
I think that would be a great Saturday Night Live skit. There's only people that create content for a living that would find it as funny, but you have like somebody in there, like in the middle of editing something, and somebody just from the side just tackles him and is like, "Wrap it up, get off the."
Right.
I mean, that to me would be hilarious. To most people that were watching, it'd be like, "Why is that funny?" But
yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
I would be like in football and throwing the yellow marker every time complete with the whistle every time it happens.
Just like with one of those clap, come in and just cut.
Yep. Could be that can especially happen in board meetings.
Yeah, gosh, yes.
We got 5 minutes to wrap this up.
So many long Zoom calls where it's like, I'm not even sure why I'm still on this call. But yeah,
boy. Yeah.
That's funny. So I did hear that William Dafoe's character and that other new lady really didn't have to be in the movie for the movie to, be the same. That's what I heard. You know, like you could have cut their scenes out, and the movie would have been just fine too. So I was like,
they were just kind of shoehorning in another character. I could have. I mean, he did a good job, but it wasn't necessary.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time I think of William Dafoe, I think of Spider-Man and the Goblin.
Too. Isn't that messed up?
I think that not that it ruined his career, but like it's just something that it goes to from and every time I see him in other movies, I'm like, yep. There's the Goblin.
Yep, every time. I'm the same way. I don't know, man. It's ruined for me.
Right. But he would have been a good Joker, actually. He
would have been.
Smile.
Yeah.
He's got that big smile, and he can laugh like
Oh yeah.
He's got a menacing laugh. Yeah. So
now, Ron, you had mentioned Romulus. So what did you think of that one?
I was pretty happy with it. But I will say it seemed like the original Alien just rehashed. Kind of like how The Force Awakens seemed like A New Hope rehashed. It seemed that, which I'm okay with because the formula works, right?
Right.
And I don't want to spoil that one, but there's things that happen at the end. I'm like, yeah, that's what always happens.
Right.
That's the say. That's what. How else could you have ended this?
As somebody who likes to make props and has made some props for some very low budget horror movies, there's props that I made for a movie that is coming out next year that I did all of the props and was art director for. I appreciate the fact that these were all practical props for the most part. I've watched so many things online, and I love that it's not relying on a bunch of digital effects and it's real props. And I love seeing that. I love seeing that. Like
even the character at the end, that's a real person, man. I was shocked.
Have you seen the videos of that basketball player online?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, wow. Damn. Okay.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
And that was without spoiling too much. That is a great creepy shock moment at the end too. That's good stuff. That sucked. and I like the realization when you realize, oh no, Oh, yeah.
no. Oh no. And that's all I can say about the movie. Just there's
Yeah.
a moment where you're like, oh no,
Yeah.
this isn't good.
Yeah. And I thought they did a great job with the effects on that. I thought the storyline, like you said, was maybe a little bit of a rehash, but still it was worth it. It had some good jumps. It
did.
I liked the look and the feel of it. I mean, I liked everything about it.
Yeah. I left the theater pretty happy with that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Have you seen it, Dan?
Nice. No, I have not seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't too involved in the Alien movies. I did like obviously the first. I know. I did like the first Predator movie because Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then I did watch Alien versus Predator, and then Well, I probably should go back and watch the first Alien again.
The good thing is it still holds up.
Yeah.
Really well today. I mean, really well.
I just rewatched the first one, and it's so Alien is such a weird franchise because the movies, a lot of them are so different from the movie before, and it's weird because this one Romulus is like the first one, whereas Aliens is an action movie. I loved it. I thought it was great, but it's not the same. It's not even. It doesn't feel like the same movie as Alien. It's a completely different movie. It was It was great, but it wasn't the same movie. Not even close.
Yeah, I'd say if you do go watch Romulus, maybe watch Alien 1.
Yeah.
I say watch Prometheus because you kind of need to. It would make more sense if you watched Prometheus than Romulus. I think in that order.
Which one is Prometheus? Like number 4 or 5?
Wow. It's in the Alien universe, but not. It's
not
hard
one
to
of
say.
the linear. It's not a linear sequel to any of them. It's kind of off on its own.
Okay. Very cool. Nice. Yeah. Now, as prop makers and stuff, going back to Beetlejuice, would you? Is there something in there that you guys would probably make as a prop? That jumped out at you that was like, that's kind of interesting. That maybe you'd be like, that would kind of be cool.
So for me personally, it looks like Ron might have frozen here.
He did. Ron, what happened?
I don't know. I lost connection for a second.
Oh, there he is. He's back. So for me personally, the Beetlejuice props are a little more cartoony than stuff that I like to make. Not that I'm some prude and I have to make some specific kind of props, but I like a little more lived in, grimier, real tactile type stuff. And it's like William Dafoe's character, for example. He's an actor that does his own stunts and he winds up dying on set is his storyline. And he obviously gets in like some kind of a motorcycle or a car crash and goes sliding across the pavement. So one whole side of his face, it's like down to the bone. But it's not like you would expect in something like Evil Dead down to the bone.
Oh boy.
It's not like that. It's green and it's got it's very like a cartoon version of which I'm fine with. It's just not the style of prop that I would make.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Would you make one of those little heads?
The shrunken heads?
The shrunken heads.
I love the shrunken heads. I think, and I've seen a couple, I think his name was Bob or whatever from the first one where he had the little shrunken head and the big body. I've seen a couple people at cons with that outfit where it's like they're looking out of like around where the tie is. And that's that is fantastic. I love the look of that. I wouldn't do it, but I applaud the effort and the creativity for putting those together. They're really good.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Ron? Would you make a prop from any of the Beetlejuice movie?
Of course, you know, the props I make are pretty large. So if I were doing it, it'd probably be the city that's, you know, we have in our background there. That's just, it has model railroad,
house,
which is
right?
dear to my heart. I
Goodness.
have to do it.
Yes.
Have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it'd be from the first movie. Like it would have the,
oh yeah.
You know, the brothel and all.
Oh yeah. With a little flashing arrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I would make that. Yeah, that'd be more of the style of things that I would make. It's just I already know how I would do it. I like when I first saw Beetlejuice. I won't say his name 2 more times. When I first saw it and saw that layout, I was like, you know, you see the Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like, you know, it was one of those moments.
Yeah, I agree. Right. I agree.
Hello,
I agree. The only other part that I think is kind of a cool look, and I think they did it in the first movie and in this one, where it's like the hallways are like the fun house with the black and white.
Oh yeah, they're all
the floors kind of do this.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's really cool. I think that'd be a fun thing to do if you just had the space. If you just did that would be fun. I don't know how practical it is, but it's kind of cool looking and would be fun to like lead people down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And the waiting room with like a lot of the characters sitting in there. That'd be fun too. I mean, again, not practical, but it would be fun to walk by that, you know, or walk through it to get to somewhere else, right?
Like if I owned a children's dentistry, I would just do the entire waiting room like that from Beetlejuice. And I think kids and parents would just get a kick out of that. And you just have that be the welcome area. It's like the one my kids go to. It looks like they've got like skateboards on the walls and it's like supposed to be cool because it's skateboards and stuff. And I'm thinking,
those are cool.
The Beetlejuice waiting room.
Yeah, there you go. that'd be good. The shrimp dish table would be fun. Yes.
Yep. The guy going by and he's
oh yeah.
That he's been run over and it's just a tire mark of the guy.
yeah. That yes. Yep.
That'd be good.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
It would be. So is there any movies that everybody would like to see that's coming up that you know of?
Gladiator 2.
What's up, Lovett?
Yeah.
Gladiator I really want to see that.
Look good.
I mean, I'm shocked that they would make one, but it actually looks good.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when I first heard there would be a Gladiator 2, I'm like, what? What could they possibly be talking about? But this actually looks all right.
Yeah. I kind of have that same feeling with a lot of these movies we're talking about, where it's like they're doing another Alien, they're doing another Beetlejuice.
Why?
Right? Yeah. Why?
And I like it when I'm pleasantly surprised because, like you, I've seen those Gladiator previews. Like, oh, all right. I went into it a little cynical, but that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's good.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's it for me. I don't know what else is coming out this year.
Yeah, I don't know. But I know Gladiator.
Dan, what do you have on your horizon?
2.
What is it?
You mentioned Gladiator 2, and I guess that's the only one I'm thinking of in my horizon. I don't know. It's just weird because it's not like the early 2000s where they're pushing like all these cool movies, you know?
Yeah.
They're mostly just like they're remaking movies now. They're making sequels or prequels or something, and it's like that's fine and all, but where's the originality? I want something different, you know? I want something like that's going to make me go, oh, now that's kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Make something.
The animator in me wants to see the wild robot, but I don't want to sit there with a ton of kids, so I'm going to have to wait till that's on streaming. But that looks pretty good, though, honestly.
Yeah. I'd see that before Minecraft.
Oh my!
Wow, that's true too. Yeah, Minecraft does not look good.
I saw the trailer for that. Man, that's just, who okayed that? Who said okay to this?
My kids played Minecraft, which I get.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Jack Black fan, but why?
I don't know. It's you know what? It's Borderlands all over again.
Yeah.
No lessons were learned. None.
Which I did not see Borderland. I
watched the evaluation. Put it this way, I got through half an hour and then I was like, done. I'm so glad I didn't go see it. I just was sitting there shaking my head like, really? I heard someone say that movie would have worked back in the late 90s.
Okay.
Or early 2000s. But now out of after everything we've seen, it's oh my. I'm not going to start.
So now
there's this movie called The Flash. I did not care for it. This is far worse than that. And if you saw this episode of the review where I went off on The Flash, you would understand just how much I hated that one. This is worse.
We even reviewed the movie.
Let me ask you this then, as trying to compare that to another video game franchise that I know a lot of people have watched, Borderlands compared to Fallout on Prime.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, Fallout was
awesome.
Yeah, I thought Fallout was really good.
It was really good. I
thought they did a great job.
That and what's the other one? What's the other video game that The Last of Us?
Oh yeah,
that's and of course the Super Mario movie. Yep. Those are three examples of video game movies done correctly.
Yeah.
Borderlands, Assassin's Creed, oh my God, Street Fighter, and the first Mario Brothers. Those are examples of just getting it so wrong. I'll even throw Sonic in there as far as getting it right. After the crowd, the fans made went through, the story of that where they're like, they saw the first Sonic and were like, no.
Let me ask you this then. Do you think that Last of Us and Fallout were better because they took their time and they did it as a series instead of a movie?
Yes.
Or do you think that has nothing to do with it?
I probably both. I always feel like a series, and it's funny nowadays that this is the thinking behind it, because it used to be the movie, they brought out all the stops. It was the best thing ever when something was made into a movie, or they destroyed something, the whole franchise, because they made it into a movie. Nowadays, I feel that it's reversed. Things that come out in the show have a lot more time to go back in time and explain things, to do much more character development, just because they have more time to do so. Yeah, I don't care if it's 8 episodes, 12 or more. If you try to do a Game of Thrones type thing, the point is that you have so much time to flesh out the story that it works out. Could Borderlands have used that? I don't know. First, it also depends on the content. If you've ever played Borderlands, there's no real story there. It's a shooter. There's no real story to it, And it's not like a lot of these other games. Assassin's Creed, there's kind of a story to it, but but you have something like Fallout. You want to know more. Like that's all I kept. I wanted to see more. When the episode ended, it's like, oh no, we're gonna wait a whole week for So
yeah. And
Last of Us, same thing. Like, what's gonna happen next? Borderlands. If you've ever played the game, it's repetitive. It's the same thing. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic game. All 3 of them, I think. But it just doesn't hold a story.
Sure.
You know what else suffered from this? Halo suffered.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That had so much potential, but when you break down Halo as a game, what story do you really have there? I mean, there's the cutscenes and what they've done in the later Halo games makes a story, but not enough to be sustainable into a series. That might have worked in a movie. So that it just depends. It depends on the content that you're given to work with.
And it's weird because they're used to, and this is going to date how old I am, but there used to be the stigma to, like, movie actors didn't want to do TV and didn't want to do series, and series actors, they couldn't get into movies. I mean, you look at, and Dan, you probably won't even know who this is, but Mark Harmon, for example, he was, everybody always referred to him as like the TV version of Kevin Costner. And it's like, it's like you had Kevin Costner who do movies and Mark Harmon who basically played his characters on series, and now there's not that stigma, and so you can get great actors to do series, and it just seems like such a more fertile place to do a story that you can really flesh out the characters. And I'm really impressed with a lot of the series that are coming out.
Yep, that's why looking, when you look at a Mando movie, I kind of don't want that.
I'm afraid for that. I'm really afraid for that.
I am too. I kind of don't want that. I would rather have a really good episodic ending to it all. I mean, if they're trying to do like the Marvel thing, it's just like this giant event where it all comes together and enough episodes to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to go back to the Minecraft thing.
Yes,
there was if you follow X, the X Twitter. There was a person who re-edited the
I saw that
the preview to Minecraft, and they made it look like everything's Minecraft, and they said, well, why can't we have it this way? Because it's just it's Minecraft, so everything and everybody should be blocky. And they were like, but you can keep the voice actors, you can keep the actors doing the voices, and doing all that, but that's fine. Just have it Minecraft, not humans.
I don't know
in Minecraft.
Who okayed that, man?
Exactly.
I mean, look at Transformers 1. I mean, Transformers 1's a cartoon. They have very big name voice actors in it. You can have Jack Black voice a character that's animated. I mean, he's done it before. That's fine.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Exactly. Has anyone ever seen? Did you guys see or want to see Transformers 1?
I do, but that's another one I'll probably catch on streaming.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly what you said.
Yeah. You know what I really wish? What I really, really wish they would have done is gotten Michael Bay for that, where there's no humans at all. Just tell that same story, but put the Michael Bay animation to it. That would have been a theater-worthy thing for me.
I agree.
Yes.
I would have seen that in the theater.
I mean, to see a Cybertron in an adult, you know what I mean? Just that Michael Bay treatment, but not on Earth at all. No humans. Just everyone in their prime, on Cybertron, and it all working out like that. That would have been gold.
Oh yeah.
That would be
I agree.
Cool.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
I think Hollywood people should take I think Hollywood people should take our ideas. They should watch us.
Agreed.
At least
and be like, hey, exactly.
Just a few of them. Or at least have a think tank with fans. I mean, obviously you guys are the ones that are gonna come see it. You're gonna pay the big money to come see it. You're gonna be in the lines and hype it all up. And then anyone who hasn't seen it, they'll get that hype from you. What would you like to see?
Exactly. Prime.
Which is funny because you can tell movies that fans and people that have seen screenings get behind, and that marketing is done well. And then you can tell the ones that I always know that if I start seeing a commercial every break that I'm watching TV for whatever the movie is, it's like, ooh, they're trying to push this one too hard. This one's going to be bad. But then you see something like Romulus that I really didn't see that many commercials, but they spent the money where they had, I don't know if you saw like the people all over New York with the face huggers on, and they were just like laying in subways and stuff. And they use that to promote the movie. It's like,
that's actually pretty cool.
This one's going to be good. They're smart about this. They're not being dumb. And so that always is a big tip off as to if it's going to be good or not, how hard they're pushing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Another thing with that is what tie-ins and what products link themselves to things. You can almost tell, do you have a face hugger and a Happy Meal? No, this is gonna, no.
Although that almost works for this size.
Right, that's the right size.
That's the size you want.
That is
wrapped around a chicken nugget.
Exactly. Well, you want the
Right,
little
yeah.
chibi version of it. That would be cool. Actually, that would be cool.
I have one of
That
those
would be
too.
good.
I
A
have one
Funko
of
Pop.
the little
Yeah,
small-
see, like a
there
Funko
you go.
Pop
Yeah,
one.
like, yeah, there you go. That you got an adult, you got a baby, and you got a baby's baby.
Exactly. Or a weird hallway where it looks like that one's way back there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I got a Happy Meal and there was one of these wrapped around a chicken nugget, I would think that was marketing done perfectly.
Right?
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. I would like.
Of course, you probably wouldn't eat that nugget
I'm
then
sure.
because you know what's going to happen next.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Space, and what I miss though is like movies like Spaceballs, where they parody, like the big movies that are coming out.
Oh yeah.
And they do it right. Because like unfortunately not all those the parody Scream movies were done right.
Oh
They
yeah.
did, like,
Now
a
the
bunch
first
of
one was
them.
great.
Yeah, the first one was good.
They had a lot of material to make fun of, and with all the movies that have come out today, you could there's a fair amount of material to make fun of.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, we need a new Mel Brooks. That's what we need. A new
Yeah.
Mel Brooks. Somebody's got to do it,
Agreed.
For sure. Change my order to the soup. That's right. But yeah, it's that's what we need. Because it says something about the movie if you can make fun of it and have fun doing it, It says that okay, the movie must be pretty good, because obviously like Spaceballs making fun of Star Wars, Alien, and what was the other movie? I forgot. But you know what I'm saying. And it's like, okay, we and people like us, we like to watch that stuff because it does make fun of things that we like. And we can laugh about it. And then nowadays it's just like, oh, well, if we make fun of it and laugh about it, then whoa, we better be careful.
And even a movie that doesn't do it as in your face like Star Trek and Galaxy Quest, where it's like it's like a subtle. I mean that movie is so good because it's so smart, and I mean they do such a good job drawing on the familiarity that you have with that franchise, but then taking it to a comical level. I love that, and I miss those kind of movies.
Yeah, I think the only thing we've gotten close to that in recent times would be, well, The Orbital, obviously, something like that. Yeah. Which brings me right to Robot Chicken and Family Guy, where they, like their whole Star Wars series, both of them, fantastic. Yeah, so funny and so stupid.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
but that's as close as you're gonna get to Mel Brooks, though.
Yep.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
for now,
because I think for now, but I think a lot of it is because like big corporations like Disney won't allow it or something.
Then there's that.
Do that.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because I mean you bring up Seth MacFarlane with Family Guy, and back when I was doing radio, we used to interview him all the time. And it's funny, and the reason we used to interview him all the time is Fox kept canceling and then restarting it again. And so every time that they would cancel it and then give the show back to him, we would get to talk with him. And at one point, he finally just said, "Look, here's my home number. You'll be calling me in like a year anyway." He goes, "Just call me and I'm going to get my table." They keep canceling the show. And it's those people that kind of know where that line is. And I'm sure some would say that they push too far, but it's kind of walking that tightrope between what you can and can't do and not be offensive as much as you can. And that's kind of what all those parody movies are. You've got to, it's a big balance, and he just did it right.
Yep. Yeah. I think another one is Simpsons. Exactly. They do that too.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Parody is the syncrest of flattery. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, definitely.
It is. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Good talks. Good talks.
Yeah.
I think Is
Glad
anyone
to
else?
join you again.
Yeah. Any more topics? I mean, I think we got through it all.
Yeah.
The only topic I can think of is what is it that you do here?
Oh, okay. Yes. We can do a little commercial break.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made. Oh, it's beautiful.
There
Sorry.
it is. A perfect segue. And we were just talking about Mel.
Right?
That's right. That's right. We were talking about Mel Brooks and Star
There you
Wars,
go.
and now here's one that I do like.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Yeah,
That is a good one, Space Quest.
Since you talked about that, I had to do it.
Yep. Good stuff.
Yeah. So, anyways, everybody that is watching and got this far, thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And in the description box, we have Ron's and Sean's YouTube channel down below. So go ahead and click those, watch them, watch the cool props that they make and the cool stuff that they do on their channels, and subscribe to their channels if you do like what they do. Or else, that's right. If you do like what they do, I'm sure you would like what they do, especially if you.
I like what I do. I like what Sean does.
I know, right? I like what you guys do too. I'll watch Eat. I missed the rewind. Yes. You have to watch the rewind. Get familiar from the beginning.
Nope, let's start over.
We talked about some good stuff. Yeah, that's right. Let's just start. Let's just keep talking. Let's just start over and talk about the same stuff we already did. But yeah, and then obviously, subscribe to the channel, share it, ding the bell for more notifications when you, when we post more stuff. Ding the bell, and what's weird is that when I do ding the bell, sometimes it still doesn't give me the notifications of certain people that post, and I'm like, and then you got to look. So, in the back of your mind, always have everybody in the back of your mind, just in case you need to go search for somebody and be like, oh, okay, I forgot about this person, but I do like their stuff. So go watch.
I've done that.
Yeah, me too.
Mostly to be like, what are they up to?
Right. What are they doing now?
Yeah, exactly.
How many subscribers do they got? Do they pass me yet?
Yeah, and it's also one of those things where it's the YouTube algorithm of I haven't put out a video in a long time, so if I put one out, it's like YouTube's like, we'll wait.
Yeah, there's
that.
Yeah.
So you got to check.
Yeah, you do for sure. Yeah. Also, if you like what we do here, go ahead and buy some merchandise. That helps out the channel. Everything that you buy, or you can become a member to YouTube or a member to our Patreon. Go ahead and check all that stuff in the description below. And then I'm sure you guys probably have stuff too. In their channels, they probably got something. They probably got something over on their channel. Who knows?
They got a video or two.
Yeah, a couple.
Right.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah, but that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, Sean, Ron. Thanks for coming. Obviously.
Thanks for having us.
And the review is every last Tuesday of the month, and we'll always be here. Oh yeah,
there it is.
Some smooth music.
Damn.
Goodbye, everybody. Oh,
bye.
Yeah, very smooth. Thanks for watching.
It is smooth though.
It is. It's got a good beat.
It does. A smooth beat. So smooth.
All right.